Welcome to the special edition Tuesday unboxing. I am amped. I'm pumped. I've been so excited all day for this that I'm like running on pure adrenaline now. We're unboxing our first ever original comic book art pages. We got a special guest in tonight, and when the artist himself might even make a slight appearance later on, we will see how the night goes. But stay tuned. Holy sheet. Here he is, the man of the hour, Comic Books NYC. I couldn't think of a greater friend to be on for this and hang out for this unboxing.
That's a nice compliment.
Because I've learned so much from your original art hour and from hanging out and talking with you over almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Year and a half, almost 2 years. Because original comic book art has never really been something that I wanted to dip my toes into, except for like I wanted a Punisher page years ago before I realized that the prices were way more than original comic book art. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I think this is, I don't know. I'm starting to lose count, but this is at least the second time, if not maybe the third time, that somebody has invited me on for their first original art unboxing or reveal or whatever you want to call it. And I'm humbled by that. It's pretty cool feeling that, that some of my tastes or, I don't know, collecting style is influencing other collectors or at least my friends. It's a stretch. I would say it's a stretch for other collectors at large, but certainly my friends, I think, have taken a second look at it and are like, you know what, that actually would be really cool to have something like that in my collection. So, but I'm also not trying to like put pressure on anybody to get into the original art game. It's a slippery slope in many ways. But but I find it to be an extremely satisfying portion of the hobby. So
absolutely, yeah. Man. And every time I see one of your original art shows drop, it kind of swayed me a little bit. Like I didn't feel forced by any means, but just seeing you guys enjoy that art and seeing one of a kind pieces.
Yeah,
that unless it was pages or it was published, you wouldn't see again. It's kind of like just really tugs at my heartstrings as a collector to like, I might not be totally into what you guys are into, but who's to say that I can't pick up pages from the stuff that I am really into?
Yeah, I mean, I think the same applies to comic book collecting. That there's really, I mean, if you're just starting from nothing, there's no rules, and you can set your own goals and objectives within the hobby. But and it's very similar with original art. Like, sure, everyone would love to have like a Jack Kirby cover from the Silver Age or something like that, but that's like impossible for the most part. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like stuff like that, or even modern original art collectors. Like the price ranges run the gamut depending upon the artist, the type of published page, cover, splash page, title page, panel page, what have you. Then you have like pinup, unpublished stuff, con sketches, straight up full size commissions, sketch covers. Like there's so many little subsets of it too, which makes it even more fun and interesting to follow and see what different people's tastes are and stuff. So
yeah. And speaking of subsets, I'm going to dip into this chat really quick and start introducing everybody here hanging out, because there's one specific subset I want to talk about for a brief second here. We got Paul Dunn hanging out, though. JP's budget collecting, man. Very dangerous path. Would you call it a rabbit hole?
I wouldn't call it a rabbit hole.
The segueing a joke from the other night.
I know. That's why I said I wouldn't, because I don't want to like get that bug in my head anymore. Like, yeah. I couldn't even go on that stream because I just couldn't handle it. So
come on, mama. How's it going? Downright Nerdy Podcast. Great to see you, man. Always sneak away from work for a hot minute. Absolutely. The subset I wanted to talk about is thank you to C-Woodard19 for giving me the idea of picking up a sketchbook to bring
sketching
commissions in.
Awesome.
Because I'm going to start getting I wish I would have started it last year, or the year before, but I'm going to get that sketchbook going JP's still here. Yes, it's the Don Dada. I think I know that guy. Piston fan in Indy. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Oh, we got Geek Out with Roscoe. Hey, comic fam. Good to see you, man. Hey, Mom. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Oh,
Thanks
hey, Andy's mom.
Yeah, thanks for talking yesterday. Who else we got in here? Hey, that catches up really quick here. So, it's one of those things where I realized, like, Epic, Marvel, and DC pages are pretty much out of my price range for the stuff that I really want. But I've really fallen in love with indie comics and indie comic books over the years. I've always kind of dipped my toes since Image has come out in the 90s and was considered indie. Then I started to realize, for those of you watching here that aren't into original art, but you want to look into it, Google is your biggest friend ever. All I did was Google search artists, and you could find their own websites, or sometimes you can find the agencies that take care of them. And literally, you're supporting the artist directly or through their agent. And that's the best way to support an artist, right?
I would say it certainly beats the alternative versus at auction or from, buying from other. I mean, all of those have their own pros and cons. But if you can find the art that you're interested in, that you have a connection with, and are able to purchase it directly from the artist, that's usually also the best deal, but also the most effective way to support the artist directly, really. So
right, and thankfully I was able to buy this directly from the artist, like right from his doorstep to mine. He messaged me the other day and he's like, I always get really antsy when I send out art pieces, and I'm like, you get antsy? I'm sitting here. USPS delivered it to the town north of me, and it sat there for like 3 days for no reason. And him and I were just texting back and forth, and we're like, this is just killing us, because he packed this to the nines, though. This is high quality Uline mailer, super durable. It's essentially like a Gemini mailer, but for art pieces, it looks like. And this is got umpteen.
Yeah, those mailers are really good for sending out prints and 11 by 17 OA pages and stuff like that. Well, I mean, I don't know what the size of that box is. They make boxes like that in many different sizes, I believe. But yeah, shipping original art, like you can do it like that in one of those like do all the work for you style boxes, or you can do it. You can ship it in a multitude of ways. But the key is to keep the art flat and protected. So,
yep. And because I was really nervous about that as well. As my first lithograph print, or our first lithograph print, showed up a week ago, a Star Wars one in Big Bad Toy Store. Was wondering how they were going to pack that to keep it from getting damaged. They did a really good job with that too. So as far as OA, I'm like,
typically you put the page inside of a bag and a board that's 11 by 17 or whatever the size is, and then you sandwich it in between two flat pieces of hard, rigid cardboard or masonite. Masonite is even better than cardboard because it's almost impossible to bend that. And then you take that sandwich and put it inside another box and make sure that there's no movement and that it's protected from any potential water damage or anything like that. But I can see you semi freaking out a little bit, but yeah.
I'm freaking out a little bit because this was also in the package.
Oh, he threw a book in? Or what is it?
Okay, I can't read anything without spoiling it. Oh my god.
Okay, so show the artwork first.
All right. Yeah. Hey Geek, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Jimmy,
why don't you go bigger screen here, or full screen?
Yep. Let me figure out how to unpack this really quick. My hands are shaking. All right. Yeet. Let me get the bubble wrap out of the way, and then I'll go big screen. But oh man, Ben Compton, thanks for being here. Nick the comic nerd, good to see you, man. Oh my lord. I'm sweating right now. He just blew my mind with some paperwork here. So if I'm at a loss, I'm honestly really at a loss for words here. There's There's no saving this bubble wrap, but I don't want to get the razor blade out either.
I have been spoiled, I guess, on what this is in the past because we talked about it, right? Yeah,
it was just like hey, I snap purchased this because I'm in love with it, and I wanted to share that with you. That hey, I finally found our first original art piece to actually pop that cherry, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because I knew you'd appreciate that comment.
I did. I did. I was stoked when I got that message.
Boy, he legit packed this to the nines. There was no.
That's a good thing, especially with art. It's a good thing to overdo it a little bit.
Oh my. Oh. Oh man, there's an extra piece in here that's kind of. Okay. I am literally sweating to death.
Is it taped down on the sides and stuff, or corners? Yeah.
This is probably, that's half the fun of like mail call money's is watching me struggle with packages. So, everybody in the chat's used to seeing me struggle with a package. Giggity. All right. Here we go.
Go big screen.
We are going big screen here. This is our first ever original art pickup.
And really, you got 2 pages technically because it's a double page splash or a double page spread.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is probably going to be the best angle to do it at with the glare and whatnot.
I think you're probably best off actually holding up the 2 pieces in front of you up to the screen because it's pretty hard to see artwork from that far away. Unless you have like a scan or something you could put up on the screen like a file, but yeah, that's much more visible now. Yeah.
So this is page 24 and 25 of Canto #1.
Very, very cool, dude.
And loaded in top loaders, super protected. I mean, there's no reason to be worried about this getting damaged in shipping at all. Drew did an amazing job. So Drew Zucker, the artist, I cannot thank him enough.
Yeah, that is Canto. It's from Canto #1. It's an awesome, awesome pickup.
Yep. So my hands are shaking.
Congrats, brother. So what do you plan on? Do you plan on getting it framed for display? Like, what do you plan on doing with it?
We're gonna take this. There's a shop not too far outside of our town, a family-owned professional framer that handles original art and is licensed or insured. I don't know if they're licensed, but insured the whole 9 yards. And it's going to get matted, framed. You
want to bring me back up so we can see each other? Yeah.
It's going to get matted and framed, and it's going to get put into one frame that's going to go on the wall above our comic book collection. And then I'll probably hang 1 or 2 copies, CGC copies of Canto.
Yeah, that's a great display combo. Yeah, man.
So said, hey, Andy, enjoy the remand Canto. Oh, okay. So this is what he's talking about. Canto 2 #1. If you want to send it to CGC, I've included the paperwork for signature series. So he went and filled out there might be.
I mean, that's cool, and no offense, but I would never send original artwork to CGC. Oh, okay. I was like,
he signed, marked Canto 2 issue 1 of the Hollow Men and included it.
Oh, so he's talking about the book, not the original.
Yep, sorry. And right there, he signed and remarked it for me.
Hell yeah.
And that is so cool. That is definitely
because he's an artist and he's registered with CGC, it would be a yellow label, not a green label, because of that paperwork. So that's awesome.
Yep, it's got all of his pertinent information and his signature on here. So
awesome.
That's
super cool.
That is way too cool. I am sweating bullets right now. Handling all the. Oh man,
dude, congrats. So I think I told you this on Instagram or text or whenever it was that you first told me that you were going to be getting this. That it not often do you get a first piece that is from like a key issue or a book that you're super into like that, or especially being a double page spread, has the main character on it, right? I have never read it. I'll admit that. But I think I recognize the main character on it, right? Or
Yep.
yeah. So those are, so that I would say, that's a pretty solid first piece of OA, man.
It's one of those things where that announcement came. I'd actually been talking with Drew 7 or 8 months ago. Drew and David, I interviewed for Brian and Jack of Simpleman's Comics. They got tied up and they weren't able to be there for that interview for Mainframe Comic Con. So I subbed in for him and got to interview him, and I've actually kind of talked to him through the last 7 or 8 months and got to know Drew a little bit better.
Nice.
And I've been eyeing this since even before that. Right. And then that announcement hit just recently, and I'm like,
about Kanto being a cartoon or something, or a series or something. Yeah.
Yep, being optioned for a cartoon and a possible movie. So I went to the boss of the house. I went to the wife, and I'm like, hey, this will never be available again if it sells. We'll never see it again. It'll disappear. And I actually found there's another guy on one of the groups on Facebook with CGC collecting, all that other stuff, and Kanto collecting, and he bought several of the other pieces. So he actually bought one of the other ones that I was thinking about buying. I digress. I'm rambling now, but I talked to Drew about this a while ago and told him I was him and Han. It's like, I really want it. I just need to make the numbers work for our family. And then eventually when that option news hit, I'm like, okay, it's time. It has to happen before it disappears and it's gone forever.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't read it, so I don't know like how many pages, are in the book, or how many pages were for sale, or how many pages have the main character on it versus don't, or whatever. So, you have all the context on that versus me, but just looking at that double page spread, I think it's an awesome pickup. Just from the artwork alone is really cool. But then also being part of like a #1 issue from like an indie darling adds another level of like cool factor to it. For me, even though I don't even read it, it's I can recognize the sort of cult fan base or that the book has generated so far up until this point, and if it crosses over into other mediums like streaming or TV or film or movies, even more so of a good pickup there. So congrats, dude. Really, really awesome.
It's really one of those ones. It's just, as soon as I saw it, it's like that's it. That's the piece. When you're reading Kanto issue 1, this is the tail end of the book. It's the first double page spread you get in the series. So it's the first double page spread altogether. And then when you get there, it's the tail end of the book. And this is when Kanto is actually stepping out into a world that's larger than he's ever known. And he's never been a part of any of this. So this is the vastness of the world that he's walking out to. Right. And the reason why it spoke volumes to me is this is really a story that my son's going to grow up learning how to read on.
Right.
As far as comic books go. So not only does this story play a special role in our family, the art piece will as well. He's going to grow up learning how to read this and hopefully enjoying comic books. It's kind of one of those things as a parent, you hope your children are into. But in the meantime, while I'm teaching them how to read, it's going to be with those little golden books that the LCS sells that are comic book related. And it's going to be with Kanto and a lot of, hopefully, more amazing David and Drew work that comes out over the years. But this was that double page spread. When you open it up in issue 1, you feel the weight and the enormity of Kanto's situation. And this is actually one of the first images you see when you open up the trade paperback as well. That back cover of the trade paperback and the first page of that is this kind of in it was published twice in two different mediums.
So
it was published in issue #1 at pages 24 and 25 or 25 and 26. I can't remember. I'm just a ball of emotions right now at the moment. But it was also published in the trade paperback at the very beginning when you open up the cover. It's on there as well with all the credits and titles and everything going on.
So it's used as like the interior background art for the trade paperback.
So not only does it carry a massive amount of weight in the story with the reader, but it carries a massive amount of weight with anybody being introduced to Kanto in the Kanto world, just the same way as Kanto's being introduced to his world. That's what they chose. I know wholeheartedly that they chose this to open up that trade because not only is Kanto being introduced to this world, but the readers being introduced to the world as well. I digress. We have a special guest to bring in because I know it's late.
Oh, awesome.
Absolutely. Drew Zucker, man.
Hey, Drew, what's up?
What's up?
Very
My
nice
poor dog is not having it. She's like, I was minding my business and you're freaking me out now. You're talking. What do you want?
Oh, boy. I know it's late, man. Thanks for popping in. I just shot you the link. You didn't have to stop by. I cannot thank you enough. This was packed to the nines, and I am utterly shocked at a signed and remarked Hollow Men #1.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I try, man. If you're going to spend that amount of money, it seems like the least I can do.
And I know you had a busy couple of weeks and you had some other clients and some other pieces that were happening. So I remember you hit me up and you're like, hey, I'm kind of busy. I'm like, this is definitely not a race. I am not. This is when it gets here kind of deal.
In the off chance that anybody that's ordered large shipments from me in the last month is in the chat, I appreciate the patience with it. Deadlines come up and you got to manage that with life, work, and getting everybody's stuff out. So it's a balancing act.
Absolutely, man. www.artofdrewzucker.com. I will add the links to this video when we're done, and I'm actually dropping that in there right now. You can buy directly from Drew there at that website, and you should be checking it out. If you're interested in Kanto, you should be checking it out.
I'm just glad it made it there in one piece. I told you I get very antsy when original art goes out, given the state of the post office at the moment.
Oh,
yeah, it was 2-day priority signature is what you set it up as.
Yeah,
I think you shipped it on a Tuesday. It got to the town north of me on Friday and then sat there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it got here yesterday afternoon. Yeah, I know, man.
It drives me crazy. It drives me absolutely crazy with them.
I mean, you packed it so well, though. If it would have taken 2 or 3 weeks, it was that U-line mailer that you used with the top loaders, with the bubble wrap, with the way you packed it was pretty epic.
That was pretty bulletproof packaging.
My biggest fear is always that it ends up in bad weather.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's rain, and I know that there are gaps in the box. So it's as much as I can secure it and create layers for it. I'm doing it.
There were no gaps in that box, man, and you used that triple thick HD heavy duty packing tape because even my razor blade, I was like, oh wow, this is really thick to get through this.
My business costs on tape are absurd.
Oh boy.
Worth it though. Worth it. I don't ever want to get an email from someone telling me, hey, this thing I spent a lot of money on is ruined because of something as stupid as packing tape.
Yeah, I get that. I never want to use the cheap packing tape because then it just becomes a frustration trying to actually do the packing as well.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I can't stop staring at this, man.
It was fun to dig that up. I haven't actually looked at that page in quite some time. It's probably been since the book was finished.
Oh, really?
I haven't actually looked at that page in a while. It was fun to see that again.
So part of me was when we were talking about this and we decided to close on it and we made contact with you. Part of me was like, I don't know. It's OA. There's no color to it, and I'm like, man, it'd be really nice if that was colored, and because my inexperience with original art and whatnot. But then when you get it here in person, there's no need for. I mean,
right.
Yeah, line art is beautiful, man. Like the more you look at it and appreciate it, I just love the original line art so much. Like, don't get me wrong, like color pieces are great. I've got some color pieces too, but I just prefer the line art.
There's something to be said for just seeing the line art because it's all me. I love Vittorio, our colorist, but once he gets a hold of the page, you've introduced another set of talents onto the page. So it does inevitably change it. He's going to make adjustments here and there, in the way that he thinks best serves the page. With this, all you're looking at is just that's all me sitting at my desk by myself with David over my shoulder screaming at me to go faster.
I just realized. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said, Andy, if you have the issue digitally, you could always make your own like color one print of it, to display side by side. Like I've seen collectors display the final colored piece in like either directly, or they either to take it directly from the book or make like a color copy from the book or something like that. So you could think about doing something like that. I mean, you own the original art. I mean, you can display it how you want to display it.
That's not a bad idea at all. The original, the idea for this piece is basically to have it professionally matted, framed, and handled accordingly in one piece, to put it on the wall and actually hang the first print 9.8 CGC slab next to it. And then when our son is old enough to properly care for it, move it into his room as an entire piece for him to move into his room. Because before you had shown up, Drew, I was telling Kavi a bit about how we're teaching our son to read. He's only 4, but it begins early, right? Well, the first comic book I'm going to teach him to read is going to be Kanto.
Yeah.
And then Kanto 2, and then The City of the Giants. And, those little golden books, my LCS still sells those, and those are great to get his attention with comic book characters and superheroes and Star Wars. So it just seems to be Kanto seems to be the perfect natural step from little golden books into comic books, as far as I'm concerned, because the Star Wars adventure stuff is still a couple of years ahead yet.
Sure.
But this story of sacrifice, of love, of just the story and the heart of the story is perfect for that age group. Honestly, for 6, 7, 8, 9, like just to start them out. But when I say that, I mean, look at all of us talking about it too, and I'm not 6, 7, or 8 years old. But I mean, to start
that was the point, man. That was the whole point of doing this, was that it would translate from that younger kid up to the adult. That was the whole experiment, and so far so good.
I cannot wait for more. I cannot wait for more more from you and David, because I know City of the Giants is dropping here pretty soon. That's going to be great. But there's just every time I read an issue, I'm left like, I gotta wait now. And just the culture that we're living in now of instant gratification. It's nice to have something like print media like this and a story like this that you fall in love with, that pulls you back, reins you back in, and reminds you that, hey, instant gratification isn't good for everything. Let's build this up and let's wait, and because it just adds more fuel to the fire. And this is just, I can't stop staring at this, man. I almost feel bad for you not keeping it, because it's your art. I've seen your art ebb and flow, and I've seen where you're growing in areas, and I've seen in other areas where you have grown. This is issue 1, pages 24 and 25. And this is by far, I don't know what happened, but you like hit the nail on the head, and you were 120% at this. And this is exactly what you delivered, exactly what you wanted to deliver in these 2 pages. And you can tell.
I actually like going back and look. So the first volume of Kanto is tough for me to look at now. It's rough. I can find all of the flaws, and that's just
Well, you
the
would be your harshest critic.
100%.
Yeah.
David will vouch for this. I have drawn entire pages and then scrapped them because they either weren't good enough or things didn't work or I found a better way to do it. That's the discipline of this job. But with Kanto, it's fun to look at where it started because especially in those early issues, I personally see myself working through how to actually draw Kanto. And there's an evolution that kind of kicks into gear around issue 4, and it hasn't really changed since then as far as design. It's very consistent from there on out. But now that we're in volume 3, just seeing the level of detail and just kind of paying attention to the little things that most people won't notice, but subconsciously they're not noticing it, but it does make a difference to them. That's where I'm really finding the fun in it right now.
Awesome. Is that your drawing table behind you or right there?
Yes, that is. Yeah, you have the studio tour real quick. Let's see. All right. So,
yeah, there it is.
So, yeah, that's for the traditional art. That's for everything else. And this is where I spend the majority of my time on the giant computer screen.
Yeah. Nice, man.
That's it. I live my life in a corner.
Andy, you hit it out of the park, brother. You got one of your favorite books. You got something for your son. You got a double-page spread. You got the main character. You got the first issue. You got the artist to come on during your unboxing, and you got to see the room where he makes the art. I can't think of a better first OA piece experience than that. That's pretty sweet.
I am
and no art dealer.
Yeah, no middleman either. So.
No middleman. It's all me.
Yeah,
I'm a one-man shop.
I am absolutely, utterly blown away, Drew. I really am. I can't tell you how much we appreciate this.
I'm happy because not for nothing, a lot of this stuff, I do it and I maybe look at it a couple times and it kind of goes into the portfolios and that's where it lives. So when it finds good homes, it makes me very happy.
Awesome.
I'm at a loss for words. So
dude, enjoy it, brother. Congratulations.
Yeah, enjoy.
That's it. Yeah, that's it, man.
Thank you very much. And I've run longer than I originally planned, and I know our guests have a short window of time. So, is this what the internet is? Yes, exactly.
Am I trapped in a box? How do I get out of here?
Drew,
let me out, Andy. Let me out. No,
it's that interview that we were able to do together like 7 or 8 months ago for the Mainframe Comic Con was probably. I'm at a loss for words for that too. That was a real blast getting to know you guys, being able to be drawn into that world of Kanto. Thankfully, Brian from Simpleman's Comics and AKA Mr. Bolo Jack really sharing that book and that information in the Simpleman's Comics Patreon group and say, hey guys, you're going to like this. You should at least read issue 1 and just getting totally drawn in. And then being able to interview you guys and talk and hang out was a blast. And then this is just, I am through the roof out to the moon right now. I just can't get over this.
I'm glad, man. I really am.
So yeah, I'm gonna close this out. Kavi, man, you got anything? What's coming up on your channel next?
I don't want to promote anything, dude. We're good. We're good to go. Next Monday night, new art show I'm doing on my channel. Look out for it. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
Drew, got anything for everybody watching?
I think next week, City of Giants comes out, so you'll have more Kanto in your life for a little bit. And pre-order Kanto 2, the Hollow Men trade paperback. It's up for pre-order now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and any LCS that you go to. Support them. They need it.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, I cannot wait. That City of Giants, basically my LCS, I've got Kanto, all copies, all printings, all covers, everything. So they know just to simply order it for me. So
you're in for something really cool with it. It's for me personally, even though I've read the scripts, it's going to be the first time I get to read Kanto like everybody else.
Ooh, interesting.
Because I've been so busy, they kind of send me the PDFs, and I go, yeah, it looks good, and I blow through it really fast, and I let David do the details. But I mean, I've seen it, but I haven't gotten to sit down and read the entire thing, like paying really close attention. I'm excited to have that experience.
You're too busy making Kanto to read Kanto.
Exactly.
So
I mean, listen, I know where this story goes, and I'm excited for it. So
awesome,
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I really can't. That means, it's a week from tomorrow it'll be out. So look for that in the LCSs. I'm going to close this out, guys. Hang out for a minute if you want. If you're not here when I come back, I get it. It's getting late. But for everybody else watching now, you guys know how I do it every week, right? I'm going to go peace out. I'm going to go pinkies out. I'm going to catch you all on the flip side for the next video. We're just going to gawk at this for a hot second. But yeah, all day, every week, I'm going to keep preaching this. Cue it up.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.